Okay, today's going to be a very short episode because I have to get going here soon. Yesterday we worked on trying to factor out our Vulture spawn logic into a function called spawn enemies, and so far we're this far into it. Now we're doing something wrong here because we only want to spawn a vulture if the appropriate time has passed, and we don't want to spawn a vulture more than once because it'll overwrite the other vulture. So I don't exactly know what the next step is. So if, for example, our enemy amount is 6, our loop will go through 6, and if our spawn timer is smaller than 1, go ahead and instantiate. Then we add a second to our spawn timer, meaning it'll be 2. And then this loop will ask on the next loop, hey, are we smaller than 2? Maybe if I put or equal to, because then, so we add a, yeah, this isn't right, because then we're incrementing our spawn timer. Yeah, we can't do this. We can't increment our spawn timer here. But as our spawn timer grows, if it's smaller than, how about actually if it's, oh, god dang it, I don't know. It's tough because we want to spawn them one at a time, but we want to do it in a loop here, because we need to call this every single frame. Because the vulture spawn timer is the factor that gets updated over time. That determines when to spawn our new vultures, but that doesn't allow us to yeah. I don't know what to do. We can't put it greater than here, because then by the time we're spawning the last vulture, we're respawning 1 through 5, so we can't be greater than there. But we could... No, I don't want to mess with that. I don't know how to tackle this. I don't know how to tackle this since we have to call this function every second. Oh, I really don't know. What can we do differently? What can we do instead of this? What we want to do is have a certain amount of vultures spawn depending on our enemy amount. So how do we do that? We could add to our vulture class a time to spawn, and we initialize them right off the bat with whatever their spawn points are. We initialize them, instantly, you know, as soon as we're in the wave, we say, hey, give us a whole enemy objects amount worth of vulture spawns, but we pass in as a parameter the spawn time waiting, like time until spawn. That way we don't have to run this every single frame and keep checking. We just initialize it, say, hey, time until spawn gets assigned a certain amount. We don't have anything like that at the moment, but I think that can work. Because then we would say for I in enemy amount, we don't worry about this spawn timer. We would just say add basically, actually, yeah, we would need a loop, or we're in the loop, so we would basically just say the time to spawn is the ith index. So whatever our ith index is, that's how many seconds we're gonna wait to spawn. And then we can say in our Vulture class, how are we spawning at the moment? We basically say, if spawning, set our spawn height and viewport, move us up. Okay. So we'll have to add another thing into our Vulture class that looks something like we would take our self.time to spawn, time until spawn. We would take our time until spawn and we would subtract it by delta time. And then we would have to give ourselves, we wouldn't become self-spawning until our time until spawn hits 0. So at the moment, we're spawning right away. Spawning gets true, but we need to initialize that to false and then set time to spawn, and we trigger our spawning to be true if our time to spawn is smaller than or equal to 0. Time until spawn. I'm gonna set it to 0. I'm gonna default it to 1 actually. I'm not going to change our spawning to false just yet because that'll break our actual spawning. I want to kind of just get the framework in there. And we would only want to decrement. We'd only want to decrement this stuff if our self.time until spawn is greater than or equal to 0, then we'd go ahead and decrement our time until spawn. Now we can say otherwise, so we don't just keep decrementing. Oh yeah, that'll work if it's greater. That'll work. So the thing is, we actually need our time to spawn to be time until spawn to get the parameter. So we can call something like spawn delay, and that is going to be our last parameter here. So we have to pass in this spawn delay. And spawning let's go ahead and change this. Spawning starts as false. Now it's not until our time until spawn. So look, this is decrementing our time until spawn if it's greater than 0. That's great. Then we need to say if our time until spawn is smaller than or equal to 0, then we need to go ahead and set our self-spawning to be equal to true. So now anytime we instantiate vultures, we need to give it a time until spawn. So we can put it right here. Let's say we have 5 seconds to spawn. Now where is this? This is in our spawn enemies function, which we aren't actually calling at the moment. Yeah, we've got it turned off. But where do we instantiate our vultures first of all? Now, here's where we do it when we press R, but where do we do it? Right here. Okay. So let's check something real quick. If we just run it, it should crash because it's looking for... actually, that's a different crash than I was expecting. In our function here, I think, see this end. We don't need this at the moment. Okay, we don't need this. Okay. So we crash because we're looking for that time to spawn that we just added. So if we go to where we spawn our vultures, and we go to the end, and we give it a time to spawn is 1 on you, and then it's 2 on you, and it's 3 on you. Let's see if this gives us 150 vulture, 150. Yeah, it doesn't like time until spawn. We set our spawn delay. Okay. It doesn't like it. Attempt to compare number with nil, but there must be a spot in our play state where we're not. Anytime we instantiate a vulture. Okay, here. We need a default time to spawn here as well, which is why we're crashing. So I'm going to say we start off as 5, just because. But it looks like that is not spawning them. What if we replace it with 0? Okay, we still don't. Spawn delay gets assigned into our time until spawn. In our update, we are saying if time to spawn is greater than 0, go ahead and start counting it down. If it is 0 or smaller, then become spawning. So I'm curious if we switch one thing and we just switch our spawning to be true here, will that start to render them again? No. What is the second to last parameter for our Vulture class? Index, okay. So we have one parameter after index. Okay. We're not spawning still. At this point, I just want to become spawning. I'm going to take this out for now. Yeah, we're spawning true. Spawning true. What's happening? I don't know why we're not spawning. I don't know why we're not spawning anymore. Let's take out the parameters that we added. Oops. Still not spawning. What's going on, man? Spawning is true, yes. Spawning is true. What do we change? And what we broke. I don't know what we broke. But I can't commit this because it's just busted. Okay, maybe that last parameter is messing us up and our table's populated, but if that's not it, I don't know what is. What the heck, man? We can't do this. We're not doing anything that should affect this. Well, no, that was okay. Well, yeah, we messed that up. I'm gonna. We take our last git commit, yeah. Let me. Do this. Okay, what we're doing is doing a get reset hard to our commit of DOAF9AB. It is now there. So if we get diff, we're normal, which means if we run our thing, we should be spawning again. Don't tell me, what? What? We're just not even spawning anymore. What is going on? Weren't we just spawning at the beginning of the episode? Come on. Nothing different. Okay, we're doing... I don't know why this would ever happen. This is sad, man. Okay. cd get ls no joust. We're gonna git clone our repo. github.com / Beans / joust dot git. Okay, we've got it. We cd into joust, then run. Dude, what is going on? Why don't we have it? How come? I don't get it. Did we not have vultures at the beginning of this episode?